Last week you saw me cleaning the barrel house and turning this building that everybody hated into what many of you now consider the most beautiful building in our property. I'm just joking, you still hate it and you still don't understand why we even bother renovating it. We have amazing projects for the future of this property. We have the coach house, which we will turn into guest accommodations. We will do some work on the Chateau, and we have a beautiful Normandy longhouse from the 16th or 17th century, which we will turn into our private home. All these are precious, amazing, unique buildings. But in order to start taking care of these buildings, we need to empty the coach house from all the garden tools, machines, tractors, and have a garage for them. And we also need a place to store our tools because there's no more space in the Chateau for all the tools that we accumulated in the last couple of years. So we have this building here. It's not beautiful, but it's a good base. And we think we can turn it into something acceptable for now. And if we clad it in wood and turn it into something approximating this, I think it's completely acceptable for the next couple of years. However, the problem is that only the left side is in good condition. The right side has been built for some reason with different bricks, and there are cracks and it falls down. So we decided it's a better idea, take the bricks down, rebuild in wood. I have only cleaned the left side so far. I need to clean the right side as well because nobody wants to enter in this sort of muddy hellhole. And it's freezing. Beautiful. What a difference. How beautiful is that? You could eat here. As a matter of fact, the kids wanted to eat here. They wanted to sleep here. And I said, yes, under the condition that we don't have to cook for them.
I always look forward to December as a Christmassy time, a month for cozy moments as a family, decorating the house and making it warm against the cold outside. Living on a Chateau renovation site means that reality is often a little different. While I headed out to choose our Christmas tree, Philip decided it was the perfect moment to bring in some very big, very loud machinery.
It is digger time. Jerome, our farmer friend, rented this 6-ton digger to get rid of all the tree trunks here, and he will also help us to tear down the walls that have to go from the barrel house. Exciting day to come. I know it can feel sad to see trees being cut down, so let me explain what's going on here. The tree you see us taking down are self-seeded sycamores, which are considered invasive here in Normandy. They grow extremely fast, crowd out native species, and cast deep shades where very little else can survive. Over time, this reduces biodiversity, fewer native plants, fewer insects, and fewer birds and animals that depend on them. Our ambition for the land is to replace the sycamores with a richer and more diverse mix of trees, species that belong here, support wildlife, and create a healthier, more balanced ecosystem for the long term. While Jerome is digging out those giant sycamore roots, it's time to cut through the concrete blocks in the middle of the barrel house to prepare it for demolition. You might remember that entire right side of the building was too damaged to repair, so we'll rebuild that section in wood instead.
So it is time to decorate the tree, and I've got my little helpers, Lily and Ella. We're gonna do the decorating. Let's start from the bottom. Oh, they're already tangled. Are you gonna do the little tour of the Christmas tree? You're gonna take it with you and go around? I'm feeding it to you, okay? Hang on. We want to maybe get it on a bit lower here.
You have to take off the top one.
Go a bit higher. What do you think? Onto the next line. There we go. Go in here. You okay? Yeah, that's it. Well done.
It's not as big as before.
No, it is a bit smaller, isn't it? Right, go right up onto the next one. Can you reach? Hang on. Let's go like this. That's it. All right. There we go. So these are the ones that I made last year. I marbled these little baubles. They're just cheap baubles. Cheers. Think. So we're going to put those on here. Put that one. So these are some homemade decorations. We've got these ones, which I made with some little printed paper that I made, and just they're super easy to make. And I love bringing out all of these handmade decorations. We've got some dried orange. Oh, they're still good. They can go up. You gonna put those up, Ella? And maybe the oranges. So pretty. Can you reach? Can you reach? You need Lily to do it. Show her where you want it and she'll do it. On this one. I'll lift you up. Ready? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Oh, well done. Does it look pretty? Good job. High five. High five. Nice. Oh, good job. Ella, come. High five. Hey, come here.
One of the very first jobs in the barrel house renovation was removing about 1.5 tons of roof slates that contained asbestos. Because of the health risks, these materials can't go to a normal déchetterie. In France, only a few public waste centers are equipped to handle asbestos safely. So in our case, we have to bring everything to a private-run facility that's certified to take it. So it's my second trip to the asbestos tip, and I take you with me. And if you wonder why I have to go there twice, because there's a weight limit. I can't carry more than 800 kilos on this mini truck, so I have to go there twice and pay another 300, 400 euros. But now it's done. I have everything loaded, no more asbestos as a property. In a funny way, I like going to this place. It's almost all professionals. Huge lorries arriving with tons of metal and rubble, big machines everywhere, the constant noise of something being crushed and lifted and dropped. You have to wear a yellow vest, and everyone greets everyone as if we all have worked together for years. And when I finally managed to use the weight bridge with the calm confidence of somebody who clearly does this every day, just like the lorry driver in front of me, I have to admit, I felt manlier than ever. Now let's see how much that is. So I just went to pay, and it's another 400 euros to get rid of the asbestos. And I asked the guys, what do they do with it? And he said they make a big hole and then they bury it. And I said, well, why can't I do that? And he just gave me an agreeing nod. At least that's what I understood. Anyways, yeah, now it's done and now it's gone and I'm happy. Now let's face it, and I can go home. Next step, taking care of the new roof slates. They look exactly like the ones I took off, just without the asbestos. The delivery driver left them right in the middle of the road, so now we are moving 1.7 tons of concrete slates out of the way. In the meantime, Jérôme is battling the biggest tree root. He thinks it weighs about 3 tons with all the soil attached. That's the weight of a big car. Getting this thing out of the ground and into his agricultural hangar took the better part of the afternoon. And the next thing that has to go is this wood store, because it's ugly, it's falling apart, and it's in the middle of the landscape, it shouldn't be here, has an ugly roof. We will rebuild it somewhere there as well. Oops. Then it happened. A major filmmaking fail. I had just stepped inside to change the camera batteries when I heard a huge rumble. Jérôme had knocked down the walls of the barrel house, and I wasn't there to film it. The walls were so weak it only took a couple of seconds, but I really wanted to see and capture this milestone. There are still a few smaller bits that need to come down, but I was honestly so annoyed with myself for missing it. I am so excited to see the landscape behind me transforming. It's going to be a blank canvas now for me to imagine a beautiful vegetable garden, a potager, worthy of a chateau. And for all of you who are sad to see these trees go, I promise you we're going to plant for each tree that left at least 2 or 3 more. And they will be younger and stronger and more diverse, and hopefully also not fall on the building that we renovate and on the future vegetable garden. And speaking of a blank slate, bringing everything back to zero is exactly what you need to do with your web presence. Yes, I do mean you, don't look away. I've Googled your web presence and honestly, not looking good. Kind of gives away your age. And sorry to say that, I'm of a certain age myself and I know how it feels. But the good news is it's much easier than you think to change this thanks to a company called Squarespace, an all-in-one platform to create an outstanding web presence, which also happens to be this week's ad. Squarespace uses a powerful AI to help you create your first website that matches your style and needs, but it will be equally helpful to completely redesign your online presence from scratch, like I do it with this piece of land behind me. This works great for a personal project, a big web shop for your e-commerce business, or simply an easy to operate page to schedule appointments for your clients. And if you want to accept payments through your page and hence want the page to look professional and trustworthy, no problem. Squarespace covers this with an integrated payment tool, so you don't have to integrate third-party tools to be able to accept all major payment systems and providers. So if you want people to actually like your page when they come across it, head over to squarespace.com/howtorenovate for a free trial. And if you're ready to launch, use offer code howtorenovate to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Wow. What a difference, such a transformation. It looks quite a mess at the same time. And very bare, but it's a really good blank canvas now for us to start thinking about how to re-landscape this area. So Philip, what are the plans here?
Somewhere here,
Yeah.
big vegetable potager garden for plants, for vegetables, for...
Flowers.
That's what I meant when I said plants.
Plants is random.
Plants is
That's
all
a bit general.
flowers for inside, and nice vegetables. And you will be taking care of it because you're really good with that.
I'm really not good at this.
Oh yeah, you're good.
I'm definitely not green
You
fingered.
made these. I mean, these are not, you know, worthy of a chateau, and they did a good job.
Look. Oh dear, they've been destroyed in the clear up.
Yeah, they didn't survive the
They did
clear
not
up.
destroy, but they were very DIY from the first point.
Yeah, but look, the sauge
The
survived,
sage.
the sage survived,
The
and
sage is there.
strawberries survived, more sage, rosemary survived. So here in the middle, big vegetable garden, 4 beds, and in the middle a way to like pathways, and the center maybe even with a little fountain or something.
That could be
So you
cute.
go, yeah.
Getting excited.
And here again, some trees, of course, because we need to protect ourselves from the view towards there, and we also want to hide this a bit, but it will be hidden by the hedges of the vegetable garden anyway, because they're going to be up to here.
But what sort of trees are you thinking? Because we just took down a load of trees.
Yeah, we took down all the sycamore trees, so we're going to plant oak trees, we're going to plant...
I think it could be really nice to have a little fruit orchard here somewhere.
Yes.
Just because I'm also concerned that we don't have trees that grow very high and create shade, because that was one of the main problems we had with this vegetable garden before, is that the trees were creating too much shade.
Here in the distance you can already see the little forest that we started planting 2 years ago, and these do really well. All these trees, there was just some grassland, and we started already creating more forest because we wanted it to be like foresty. We have beech trees, Portuguese laurel, we have betula, I think it's Himalayan birch in English. Anyways, there's going to be some oak trees which are already here, we had a little oak tree nursery, and they will be planted there. Yeah.
That was from my dad, I think.
Yes.
He brought them over.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Here we have a really nice chestnut trees, beech, and several oak. This is oak. So yeah, they all will go here. But you're right, maybe here more fruit trees. So next step with the barrel house, you see that's where the walls used to be. So we're gonna make 1 row of bricks here all around. And
You're going to do that, aren't you?
I can do that?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. I will see. And this is going to be good foundations for building up then a wooden structure, and then the cladding. In hindsight, I think maybe it was not necessary to clean the floor before we took the walls down, because it's a mess again.
Oh yeah.
So the other thing we found out, and it's good news, that the slab is in good condition, it's very thick. And if people wondered why this collects water, it's because it was a barrel house. So they wanted it to collect water in the middle because they washed the barrels all the time. And when they washed the barrels, a lot of water on the floor, and it was draining into these holes, and it was pumped out, or there was a drain. Maybe there was a drain, we will find out once it's completely empty.
And one last thing, we finally received my finished samples of my scarves, and thank you so much for everybody who's been patiently waiting. We did have to delay the launch a couple of weeks, but it was definitely worth it because they've arrived and they are beautiful. Haven't had time to launch it for this weekend, but the launch will now be next Sunday, the 14th of December. So if you're not on the wait list, you can go to the link in the description below and join the wait list. All those on the waitlist will be able to access the shop 1 day before the official launch on Saturday the 13th. So if you want to get a scarf, then get on the waitlist. There's only going to be a limited amount of them. They're so beautiful, so I can't wait for you to discover them. We'll share more next weekend. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.